Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Junk Baller Podcast. My name is Michael Greenwood, as always, and I'm here with my good friend Kevin Otterbein. Kevin, how you doing?
What isn't going on right now?
Yeah, I mean, you talking about I-95?
Yes. Well, we were just talking beforehand how our good friend Mike Nichols lives only an exit away, where I also used to live, and I'm like, I don't know if I want to drive down there for a while after that.
No. We've had a lot going on. It's been about a month, we've realized, since the last time we recorded, which was the draft that everyone seemed to really enjoy. But yeah, lots been going on, and, sorry for the delay, everyone. We had a little bit of a scheduling, it's not snafu, just conflicts, and we couldn't get together to do this, but we're back after a month off, and we're excited for it. But yeah, doing all right?
Yeah, I'm doing all right. I'm just tired.
Yeah.
Just like with a lot of personal stuff and work stuff, I just want to get a good night's sleep for once.
Mm-hmm. I mean, we just had rain for the first time in 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So, and then it's supposed to rain tomorrow too. So, thank God, even though my league got canceled on Monday. So I was a little bit upset about that. But anyway, enough about the weather. That's boring stuff. Let's talk about stuff we like.
And league, we don't want to talk about that either.
What, baseball? Ultimate League?
Yeah, I don't want to talk about your league.
Yeah, no, not my
I
league.
got waitlisted for that one. I don't want to talk about it.
That's right. Sorry. Sore subject. Sore subject right now. But no, so we'll do a little short recap of the draft right now. I ended up being the poll results came out, and I was the winner of. I know everyone. Yeah, I was the winner of the best team. Now, Biscuit was the winner for the most fun team, or team that would win in a fight.
Yeah.
But I was the one that won the best, and I'm gonna gloat a little bit. That was great. I won. It's fantastic.
It makes sense. Yours has the most appeal and more current players. And we were talking about this.
Hey, I got a good balance. I got some of the all-time greats with Hank Aaron, Babe Ruth, and then I got some more modern. I mixed it up.
Yeah. But I think...
Sorry, I'm going to get defensive.
I think a part of it, which we were talking about in between recordings, I think, is that the teams really reflected our personalities.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So Taylor's he's an entertaining, outgoing guy. He picked the guys, who would, be entertaining and fight a lot.
Ken Griffey, Pete Rose, Nolan Ryan, Ichiro, Tony Gwynn. It's a fun team for sure.
Yeah, mine's more I guess the the blue collar, classic guys.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I agree, because you had Mariano Rivera, George Brett.
Mickey Mantle, Willie Mays. Yeah. So my outfield was pretty stacked. And so was my reliever. I took Mariano 1 because he was going to be the one on the board.
Yeah. And I had a mix of modern and old-fashioned players, kind of like a mix. But I only had one lefty in my lineup, and that was Ted Williams, I think. Everyone else was right-handed. I was like, I got to mix. Oh, Babe Ruth. I had 2 lefties, but I got to mix them up. But that was a fun time. We hope everyone enjoyed it. If you haven't listened to it, it's our last episode that we recorded. And we'll probably do some more stuff like that in the future. But we're going to get back to the basics of what we've been doing. But I have a fun fact before we get started with our new segment. But I will do the fun fact first. Kevin, you know who Stan Musial is?
Yes.
Who is he?
He was a baseball player for the Cardinals.
Bingo. 2 for 2 so far. Do you know how many hits he had?
Over 3,000?
Mm-hmm. Basically 3,630. 3,630, yeah.
It's a lot.
Yeah. So, I think my math's right on that. But this is a really cool stat. Stan Musial had 1,815 hits at home, and he had 1,815 hits on the road. Split.
Dang.
Perfectly even. You couldn't do that even if you tried.
No.
I mean,
who would even get 3,000 hits now?
Bo Bichette's on his way. He's been leading the league in hits. He's only 24, something like that, 25, and he's led the league in hits the last 3 years.
How many career hits does he have?
Okay, well, let's look it up real quick.
Well, while he's
Bogusch.
looking that up, I'm trying to guess to see where Stan Musial would rank in hits. If it's 3,600, I think he would be like in the top 5, perhaps.
Okay. Stan Musial?
Yeah.
Think so. Yeah. So Bo Bichette has played 462 games,
All right.
and he has 572 hits, and he's only 25. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
He's averaging 201 hits a year. So span that out, he's probably going to get to 3,000 if he keeps it up by, mid to late 30s. I mean, it's a long shot. Altuve's, I think, not going to have enough time to do it.
Yeah.
Honestly, let's look it up. Who's the hit leaders? I kind of just want to do a tangent right now and see that.
Well, let's not get too much on a tangent. This isn't the pitch clock episode
Oh,
part 2.
yeah. Oh, okay, fine. So you want to pitch? Okay, I'm being shut off right now by my co-host to not do a tangent.
I mean, we could talk about the stats.
No. We have something exciting for everyone now. We're gonna do a new segment. Instead of team talk, we're going to do. We're gonna try some new stuff in this little kind of buffer before the main topic. And today, I'm going to do a top 5 pitchers of my lifetime. And I kind of gave a little bit of a background to Kev right before we spoke, that it's basically from like 2000 on in where I like paid attention and knew about pitchers. So kind of think, and this will be more relevant to people that or more casual fans. They'll recognize some of the names. But I also have I have 5 honorable mentions too. And they are in no particular order. But I figured I'd list my top 5 pitchers of my lifetime.
This is 2000 forward.
Pretty much. Like these guys a couple of them pitched before 2000, but this is kind of like, I didn't pay attention when I was born in 94. Like I was pretty much starting when I would say like 2003 was when I really started to like watch baseball. I think it was when Tomei came into the Phillies is when I like my first like real memory of it.
Right.
Unless you remember Robert Person for the Phillies, who hit a grand slam and a 3-run home run. Any classic Philly fans they'll remember that game.
I don't remember anything before Bobby Abreu for the Phillies.
Yeah, Bobby was it was on that team when I think Robert Person hit it. He was a pitcher. That's why. But anyway, so top 5 pitchers of my lifetime. No particular order. Pedro Martinez is one. 219 wins, 100 losses, 2.93 ERA. Over 3,000 strikeouts, 1.05 whip. Fantastic choice. Easy Hall of Famer. I don't think anyone has any gripes with that one. Number 2, Greg Maddux. Big surprise, right? 355 and 227 with a 3.16 ERA, 3,371 strikeouts, 1.14 whip. And Hall of Fame. I don't think anyone has a gripe about that either. Easy. And this guy is still pitching for the next one that I'm going to do. Clayton Kershaw. He is 205 and 91 with a 2.49 ERA career. He has the lowest career ERA of any pitcher with a minimum amount of innings that he has pitched in MLB history. So he keeps runs off the board. He's 100 strikeouts away from 3,000. I really hope he gets it this year. I don't think he will, but my fantasy team would like it too. I don't think anyone would have a gripe about that one either. For Kershaw, what do you think so far?
So far, so good.
So far, so good?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Number 4. This one should be an easy one too. Randy Johnson. Again, this is no particular order. 303 and 166, 3.29 ERA, and 4,875 strikeouts.
Yeah, well.
It's just ridiculous how many strikeouts he had. I mean, it's the way he was built and his arm slot, like there's no wonder why like he had a people had a hard time hitting him. But I don't think anyone would have a gripe about that. And the first 4 were easy. The 5th one was a little bit difficult for me. And I kind of went with someone who is still pitching, but he doesn't have the amount of track record that everyone else that I've listed before.
I think I know where you're going with this.
Yeah?
Well, tell me who it is.
He just got injured.
Yep, that's it.
Yeah,
I knew.
yeah,
Yeah, I knew
yeah.
that's who you're going to go
Jacob
with.
deGrom.
Yeah.
When he's healthy, I don't think anyone comes in his stratosphere in terms of what he's able to do.
Yeah.
It's a shame that he's had so many injuries the last 3-4 years that it's been a crime. It's been a real crime to. He is 84 and 57 in his career with a 2.53 ERA in about how many games? In 215 games. But he hasn't pitched a full season since 2019. And it's just it's fun watching him pitch, even even when he was a Met.
Sounds like a lot of the Mets pitching staff from 2015.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Yeah, exactly. But I just think that, if he just if he just pitched 20, 25 games a year instead of the 32 or 33 that he could, he'd probably already be a sure bet Hall of Famer. But because of the injuries, hasn't been able to stay healthy and pitch for a full season. But I just know when he's on, he's on. Let's see. He's led the league in strikeouts per 9 once. His Cy Young year when he was 10-9 with a 1.7 ERA. Oh my gosh. Okay. How many complete games do you think he has over his career?
He's pitched 10 years, like 10 seasons, pretty much.
Yeah, 10 seasons, 215 games.
There's not a lot of complete games anymore, and with the amount of injuries he's had, 30.
30 complete games.
Yeah.
4 complete games.
I was being way too liberal on that one. Wow.
Yeah. He's only had 1 since 2019. He had 1.
Well, I guess that is high now to have 4 complete games.
Yeah.
So.
But, that's my top 5 pitchers of my lifetime. What do you think?
I think that sums up most of what I would consider in the top 5.
Yeah.
2 others I was considering.
You want me to go through my honorable mentions, or you know what, you go.
Yeah. I'll be quick. And I know he's a steroid guy, but he was so electric to watch, and that's Roger Clemens.
Yep. I left him on my list because I wanted to. I'm a little bit old school where I don't like the steroid guys, on my list. Like, obviously, you still have to pitch and do everything proper, but I kind of wanted to keep my list clean for this. Obviously, Roger Clemens, ridiculous. Like, if he wasn't anywhere close to being referenced in the steroid scandals, he'd be probably number 1 or 2.
Yeah.
Easily.
Yeah, and I guess I just got to also watch him a bit more. Watching him pitch, especially in the postseason, he was solid.
Oh, yeah.
And he was exciting to watch.
Yeah, he had some fire in him. He was kind of like an old school pitcher, but like a new school type of stuff. Yeah, basically.
The other I would consider comparable, I guess, to Kershaw, maybe not as low of an ERA, the same similar longevity would be Verlander.
Yeah. He wasn't even on my honorable mentions, but because I think there was a period of time where he just wasn't consistent. Like a couple of the Detroit years, I was like, I think he had a 4 ERA. Let me look at that up real quick. But some of my honorable mentions are, again, no particular order here. Max Scherzer, Roy Halladay, Curt Schilling, Zach Greinke, and Felix Hernandez. What do you think?
How much did you get to watch of Schilling?
A decent amount. He's Philly. Philly. I think probably because I'm a little more biased because I have the Philly stuff with me.
Yeah.
But he definitely was I think the postseason helps a lot with him.
Yeah.
But I think when he was with Randy Johnson, when they won the
2001.
Yeah. Like, I think he almost cemented himself as one of the best pitchers there, in that era, kind of like the late 90s, early 2000s. He didn't have overpowering stuff. He was just a good pitcher.
Yeah.
But yeah, so here's Verlander's. He's had 2 seasons where he's had a finish with an ERA above 4.5.
When were those seasons?
2008, he was 11-17 with a 4.84 ERA.
That was a little early on in his career.
He was 25.
Yeah.
And then in 2014, he finished with a 4.54 ERA. So, yeah, he's had some good. When he won the Cy Young and MVP, he was 24-5 with a 2.4.
I think he won the Triple Crown that year.
Mm-hmm. Wins, ERA, and strikeouts. Yeah. He's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just think that when I looked at it, Verlander was just a little inconsistent with some of his longevity. Obviously, he's gotten better almost as he's gotten older, except for this year, which is great because he's a Met. Because he's 2-3 with a 4.4 ERA, and Scherzer's got a 4.5 ERA. It's great. I love it. Mets implode.
Except when they play the Yankees. Well, the Yankees split the series so far, but
after the podcast, I will post my top 5 and let me know what you think. Should I put Roger Clemens on? Should I have put someone else on? Should someone not be on the list? Should DeGrom be on the list, even though he hasn't really pitched a ton of innings? So, So we're gonna do more stuff like that moving forward. We'll leave some of those surprises for next time, but we understand that team talk can kind of be a little bit. It's just a little bit. You guys are up to date on a lot of stuff, and we can sometimes repeat stuff over and over again. So we want to try something new, and do you like that?
Yeah, I do. I think it's a nice break from just repeating a lot of what's been. I mean, at least from my perspective as a fan, a lot of the same.
Aaron Judge is hurt. Bryce Harper
injury.
hasn't hit a home run. The Yankees suck. The Phillies suck.
Yeah. And it's not even like, I won't go too much on a tangent, but it's not like the Yankees are even sucking that bad. They're above 500. They would be leading the AL Central if they were in that division.
And I think the NL Central too.
Yeah. But again, without those big guys in the lineup, they can't hit.
Yeah.
Volpe should be demoted.
Yeah, I think so too.
His strikeout rate is through the roof.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Judge being out, really diminishes that offense.
It would be a shame, but like you guys had a guy named Aaron Hicks, right? And he's doing really well in Baltimore.
Gee, I can't imagine why. It's the New York syndrome.
I almost added him to my fantasy team, almost just for spite for a week.
The Sonny Gray syndrome.
Yeah. Hey. I'm sorry.
It happens.
Yeah, it happens. Yeah.
That's just the nature of the beast.
Yeah. So
it is.
Hope you enjoyed that. But now we're going to get into our junk baller section. Is it a junk baller? We haven't done junk ball.
Junk ball.
Yeah, we haven't done this in a while.
Junk ball.
No, it is the junk ball section.
Oh, it's the junk ball section of the Junk Baller podcast?
The Junk Baller podcast, but this is the junk ball section. Oh, before you go, I have a shout out. This is kind of cool. So one of my friends is dating someone and found out that her dad is Jim Salisbury, who was a former writer for the Phillies. And just so happened that she passed along the name of our podcast. And Jim was like, oh, that's a really cool name for a podcast, for a baseball podcast. So thanks, Jim. Just shout out to you. Really appreciate it. Just wanted to say that real quick. Yeah, what's up?
Was it Tyler?
Yeah, Tyler. Yeah, Tyler. Yeah, Kevin works with Tyler.
And I'll give an extra shout out to him if he listens to this, from biking from Conshohocken to work yesterday.
Oh, yesterday?
Because his car's broken down.
Oh, it broke down.
Or like it's in for repairs or something.
Yeah, I did see that it got sideswiped.
And he biked from Conshohocken to Malvern yesterday.
Dude, I could have driven him to work.
Yeah.
Gosh, why didn't he ask? Gosh, Tyler.
But
good guy. Good guy. Yeah, he showed me that his car got sideswiped. And I was like, but I guess it's in for repairs now. So hopefully insurance cover that.
Yeah.
But again, now we're moving on to the junk ball section, and Kev has something a little special for us.
Yeah. Well, this section is sponsored by nobody.
Nobody.
The because we have no sponsors.
We have no sponsors. If you guys want to reach out and possibly be a sponsor, let us know. I don't know what that entails, but let us know.
I mean, you work for a paint company?
Yeah, I can give free publicity. My dad owns a painting contracting business in King of Prussia.
Yeah.
So if you guys want painting, give me a call. I'll put my just DM the podcast.
There we go. We have our first
yeah.
sponsor.
Yeah, there you go.
So this junk ball section is sponsored by the Greenwood Painting
CM Greenwood Painting and Paper Hanging. My dad's been in business for over 45 years, family business, and I plan to take it over shortly as my dad is starting to get older. And but yeah, enough about the sponsor. Let's get back to baseball.
Well, I want to use that as a segue to my topic.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay.
Because the topic for today was the broadcasting on television and the state of baseball on TV in general.
Mm-hmm.
And what I mean by that is just the mess that's become over the last, I mean, you could say a couple of years, even this last year, it's been really messy, but it goes back decades. Not to get into too much of the history, that, baseball started broadcasting in like the 40s or the 50s, when you only had like 5 channels and you had to get up and turn that dial and fix the antenna to watch baseball on a screen the size of your phone in black and white.
Yeah. Yep.
And what it's become now, wow. You have 1 million channels. But the problem is that MLB doesn't know what they're doing with television broadcasting, in my opinion.
Wait, what? MLB doesn't know what they're doing? No way.
Yeah, it's not like we complain about it every time we're on here. So the first thing I wanted to bring up was the blackouts.
I think everyone would agree with this before you even have to say anything, but continue.
And how absolute trash they are?
Yes.
Yeah. So I have MLB TV, which is...
Yep, so do I.
Yep, which is great because, I don't live in the New York area, so in order for me to watch my team, I need MLB TV to watch it.
Mm-hmm.
But there are certain times where I can't watch it. So it's like if I go up to the New York metro area, or if they're being broadcast on national TV like ESPN, I can't watch it unless I have ESPN. And the thing with the Yankees is that the MLB, if you guys aren't aware of this, is that they have contracts with several streaming services to broadcast the games. So the Yankees, for example, stream through Prime, Amazon Prime, through, Apple TV, that's the other one. That's everybody.
Yeah.
And Peacock.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So
I didn't know about Prime.
Yeah. On Tuesdays, they stream on Amazon Prime only for customers in the New York area.
Oh, okay. That's probably why I don't know. Okay.
Yeah. But, imagine being a Yankees fan in the New York area and all you have is, I don't know, cable or, something that airs the Yes Network.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say that I don't think YouTube TV has the Yes Network, but let's just say they do for the sake of argument.
Mm-hmm.
You could easily be watching a game on Yes on Monday. Then you have to watch the game on Prime on Tuesday. If they're scheduled for a national broadcast on Apple TV, you got to watch it on Friday. And depending on where they're airing on Sundays, if it's a Sunday morning, you got to have Peacock.
Yeah.
And on Sunday nights, you got to have ESPN.
Yeah, it's turning into like $50 just to watch a month just to watch your team.
Yeah, and no one wants to do that.
No.
Yeah.
No, you're already paying, for cable or something like that. I mean, depending on how you watch it, it's just not fair.
And I remember when I thought it was a pain in the neck when they first started the Yes Network back in 2002. And they were only on DirecTV at the time. My family had Cablevision.
Yeah.
So I couldn't even watch the games when it came out. And I thought it was a pain then, but now it's like, now I need to have DirecTV. I need to have Peacock. I need to have Apple TV. I need to have Prime. I need to have these other things just to watch games.
Yep. Mm-hmm. I think it might be a little bit more frustrating for you because you get more games because you're a Yankee. The Yankees get more viewership, everything like that. The Phillies, I think I've had a couple games on Peacock. I think the first one I did a free trial, but then I haven't been able to watch the Peacock games since. I think there's been a couple. But I haven't watched, sorry. Yeah?
No, sorry.
I haven't watched any of the Apple TV games, and I haven't watched any of the Peacock, other than the first Peacock game. That's it. I haven't watched any of them. So if you're listening, MLB, I don't think anyone's really trying to. I'm a dedicated fan. I mean, I have a freaking podcast about baseball. I'm not watching that. I'm not paying the extra money to go and watch those games. I'll skip that game.
Yeah.
And you're going to start losing just casual fans because no one's going to see on Peacock, oh, yeah, let me watch the random baseball team that I don't follow ever. And no one's going to do that. It's not like football or basketball. Really only football. And that's because it's once a week. You know, people can catch a basketball game every once in a while and stuff like that. Baseball's every day. And I'm like, I don't really want to watch that. They won't even put it on the side.
Or listen to it on the radio.
Yeah, no, they don't do that.
Yeah.
I don't. Obviously, I don't blame them for trying to, try to reach the streaming market. I don't mind that.
Yeah.
The idea in theory is good, but you can't just expect people to be paying, like, how much is it for Peacock? A month.
I think it depends on the package. I think you have to have like the premium.
Yeah, that's another
package
thing.
for
You have to have a
Peacock.
certain package.
I think it's
too.
like $8-9 a month. I
Okay,
think,
so that's that. Then you have Apple TV,
which is like $7 a month. I
yeah.
think.
So it's adding up for. It's just adding up, and you have to make sure it's the right package too.
Yeah.
It just adds up to more. You're paying. Okay, just do the math. You're doing close to $50 if you get Amazon Prime. So that's do the math. 50 times 12.
600.
Yeah, 600. That extra $600 a year.
Yeah.
No one wants to do that to watch their game, to watch the team. I'm not going to do that.
Or even watch MLB Network. MLB Network is having problems with their contracts with just the streamers and the cable subscribers. So they were taking off YouTube TV back at the end of January, and they haven't been that gone since.
Forgot about YouTube TV. Yeah.
Yeah.
Gee.
And because I was looking it up because I have YouTube TV. I was looking up other services that might have MLB Network. Now, I guess I really don't need it because I have MLB TV, and MLB TV is just like, I'll give MLB this. MLB TV is a great service.
I 100% agree.
It has a ton of content on there. It has like a recap, which is just like Quick Pitch.
Mm-hmm. I think it's I think it's a fantastic deal. Obviously, you and I both got it for free with T-Mobile, so that's fantastic. But it was $150 for the year. You can watch any MLB game pretty much ever, except for the blackouts.
Yeah,
I think that's a pretty good deal for everything. If you're an avid baseball fan, like I do it all the time. Just I'll put on. I think I watched Boston and Colorado the other night because I had James Paxton pitching for fantasy team. I was like, yeah, I'll just watch it for fun. And I do it late night. I'm just staying up late. But I agree with the blackouts. They need to freaking end.
Yeah, I guess what I was trying to get to also is like, I think it's really MLB's fault. I really thought it was like YouTube TV. Now YouTube TV has been raising its rates, but MLB Network, I noticed like on the other streaming services, they're mostly on like the Sports Plus or premium packages. So like if you want to watch it on Fubo is like $90 a month. And I'm like, forget that. And I don't need a billion other channels that I'm not going to watch anything else on. There's Sling TV, which is cheaper.
Oh my gosh, he was safe. Sorry, we're watching the Phillies right now. Oh, he looked safe. I don't know if he got him. Oh, Marte's going out. That was a great play. There was a little bunt single by Corbin Carroll, and there's a runner on first. And
they're not going to
Oh,
review
wow,
it.
they're not going to review it. Great play by Stubbs. Oh, man, great play. All right, sorry, people.
Yeah.
See, we're multitasking. We're watching the game. Oh, what a great throw. I can just see it. Oh, he beat the... Marte beat the throw, but his foot wasn't on the bag.
No, yeah.
They need to learn how to slide better.
Fundamentals.
Yeah, fundamentals.
Like the fundamentals of television. Make it as available to fans as possible and not have to pay a bunch of money for these things that they won't even watch most of the other stuff anyway.
Yeah. If they're that worried about growing the sport, don't make it harder for people to pay and feel like, oh, I have to pay money to get invested in this. No, get rid of the blackouts and let people watch the games that they want to watch. Okay, and then you'll see the return on your investment because people will be watching the game, and you'll have the commercials and everything. You'll still get money for advertising.
Yeah,
I just so dumb.
Yeah. And of course, if you're in a blackout in the local market, you can't watch your team, which makes a bit more sense. I get that.
Yeah,
but if you do happen to use a VPN, it does work. I tried it once.
Good for you.
But anyway, The second part of the television stuff is the broadcast itself. We've come a long way from the days of John Miller and Joe Morgan on
I
ESPN.
miss them so much.
And every time I watch an ESPN broadcast, the Yankees have been on a lot lately, and they're going to be on again this upcoming Sunday night. They've been on ESPN 3 times this week. This last Sunday against the Red Sox, last night, and this upcoming Sunday.
I wonder why they did that. So
because the Yankees are playing, and they're playing rivals.
So yes, and I think they might have done this schedule this way too. Basketball and hockey just ended.
Yeah.
The Yankees on prime time with good matchups with the Red Sox rivalry, Mets rivalry. Who are they playing on Sunday?
The Red Sox.
Red Sox again.
Yeah, they're playing them again this time at Fenway.
I think conspiracy. I think they planned it so that way, baseball or school just ended too.
Oh yeah.
So I think they planned it this way.
They always schedule the Red Sox and the Mets in June.
Okay.
They're always playing in June.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Either like middle June, late June, because again, that's when school's getting out.
Conspiracy confirmed.
The sports are ending. And they're going to be on, Fox on Saturday, which is not too bad. Joe Davis is a fine.
I don't mind Joe Davis. Joe Davis is okay.
Yeah.
I don't mind him.
Yeah.
But
Smoltz can get down my nerves.
I used to like Smoltz. I have kind of gone to the pack where everyone starts to hate him. I'm like, he's not terrible, but he's not really great either.
Yeah. And Sunday Night Baseball now, just watching it.
It's not fun. It's not.
Terrible.
Yeah. I don't even know if I like anyone on the broadcast itself. Like the last guy that I think I used to like Carl Ravitch, but he's kind of okay.
Yeah.
Last couple years when they had Vasgersian doing it, like Vasgersian,
that was okay too.
I think Vasgersian kind of got overdone. Like he kind of hit his ceiling and then he fell down back to earth. But you know who I miss, even though I get to listen to him for the Phillies? John Kruk on ESPN. Like he was good for ESPN, even though his personality definitely fits more of a local market because he would get in trouble for the national market. But the best duo they've had on ESPN has definitely been John Miller and Joe Morgan. And even for the World Series, I'm taking
No, go ahead.
Because the Fox doesn't have Joe Buck anymore for doing the World Series because he switched to ESPN for football. So it's been Joe Davis and John Smoltz, and people aren't. That's not necessarily ideal. I think Joe Buck is actually pretty good. He's not as. I think he gets a lot of slack. And I think I agree. I think I've slowly kind of he's just underappreciated he does a really good job for doing football and baseball.
I think he did the smart move by focusing more on baseball. I think he's a better football broadcaster than a baseball one.
You think so?
I think so.
Okay. Why do you say that?
I don't know. I just feel like he gets into it more.
Yeah. It's an easier sport to like.
And it's an easier sport to follow.
Yeah.
And baseball, I feel like he's gotten a little bit better over time. In the early 2010s, I thought it felt like he was falling asleep during games.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Well, he had Tim McCarver next to him. I can understand why.
And then he got other people in the booth, and maybe that helped.
Yeah.
And then, you got Apple TV and that mess.
I don't even know the announcers.
I don't know them either, but I'm not a huge fan of them either.
Yeah.
So I guess my tier is like Fox. I haven't really watched the Peacock game.
No.
So I don't know what they're like.
I don't know either.
I hear good things about them, but I don't know.
I haven't heard good things about any of the streaming ones.
But I guess my thing would be like Fox, ESPN, Apple TV.
And ESPN, but it's like Fox really, really high up, and then like ESPN down like by your
it's not by much.
No.
It's not saying much that they're above Apple TV, but I think they have a slight edge. I think it's more also my bias because they have David Cohn on the broadcast, who I like.
David Cohn's not bad. I like David Cohn.
I think he's better on the Yes broadcast than the ESPN ones.
I would agree. And the ESPN started trying to do like that like fan cast thing, like where ESPN with when they had Peyton and Eli doing their thing with Monday Night Football. Now they have Sunday Night Baseball with A-Rod and
Michael Kay.
And Michael Ken. Kay.
Michael Kay.
Michael Kay, sorry. I should have known that. I know Michael Kay. But they have that, and A-Rod is just miserable. Oh my God, he's terrible.
Having Derek Jeter on sitting between them was like the peak of cringe. It was so awkward.
Yeah, A-Rod cannot. If everyone watches A-Rod, next time you watch baseball, try to watch an interview with A-Rod, like when he's an analyst or something like that. He cannot stop moving his hands. No matter what he's talking about, he will always move his hands and try to look like it looks like he's dancing or exercising.
He tries too hard to be liked, I think.
Yeah.
And it comes off to the point where he tries to be liked by everyone, and then no one ends up liking him for it.
Yeah. Like, just
so it's a two-edged sword.
Yeah. Even when he was, so I watched Shark Tank, the business investment show, and he was a investor on it couple times. Even then, I was like, God, this guy's a piece of work.
Yeah.
He's just too much right now. Sorry, continue. Sorry for that tangent.
No, I appreciate the back and forth.
There you go. Sir Anthony just struck out. Oh, that's Gurriel's on my fantasy team. I don't like that as much.
Another two-edged sword.
Yep.
There was something else I wanted to mention about it too. Oh yeah, the regional networks. It's related to the blackouts too. That I forgot to mention how 2023 has just been insane with how much regional TV is just dying out.
Yeah,
because you had Bally Sports, which is falling apart, and the news a couple of weeks ago where I think MLB kind of screwed the Padres over. Because the Padres' contract, I guess, went up, or they fell apart too. So now MLB is handling their broadcasts. Though you have to pay a separate thing to watch it, I think, apart from MLB TV.
Yeah,
I think.
So I'm looking at it right now. So, the MLB will take over the broadcast production and distribution of San Diego Padres games after Diamond Sports Group chose to skip its latest rights payment. So it looks like it was in the middle of a deal worth $1.2 billion over 20 years with the Padres that was set to run until 2032. Okay, the Padres have an ownership stake in Bally Sports, meaning RSN is not part of DSG's bankruptcy filing. As a result, DSG is unable to contest losing the rights to Padres games, with the franchise instead taking them back. MLB will now produce broadcasts featuring the Padres. Okay, it's a little bit interesting. I don't know how to really take that. So, Bally Sports bankruptcy, with DSG having entered negotiations with MLB as its teams over streaming rights. They had a deadline for the 30th of May to compensate the Padres, and then they didn't do it, and so MLB decided to take over.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So. That happened, and then I think they had fans would have to pay separate for the MLB broadcast. Like if they have MLB TV and they want to watch the Padres fans are going to have to pay extra for that service to watch the Padres games.
Could you imagine if you actually had a fan base that cared about their team? Do that, like the Phillies or Yankees,
like the Rays. Can you imagine the backlash from that from all 20 of their fans?
Yeah, I mean, the Padres. I mean, I don't know their fan base, but I know that they're right now they're selling out. But I don't know if they keep struggling like this, they're going to be selling out much longer. But yeah, anyway.
I mean, they're not doing bad right now.
Yeah, I'm more talking about the fan base. Like, I don't really know. I don't know any Padre fans at all. My dad hates the Padres name. He just thinks I was like, who's the Padres? Like, I don't know.
Well, I think it has to do with the different California Catholic missions that were out there.
Yeah.
And San Diego was one of them.
Yeah.
So that's why they're the Padres.
Yeah.
But I get it. I guess one other thing, too, I wanted to talk about is also how Fox has been the exclusive postseason broadcaster, World Series broadcaster for 20 years.
Yeah.
now.
I can't remember last time was it on Fox?
1999. The Yankees and the Braves. It was on NBC. Bob Costas, who was a better broadcaster then than he was the last postseason. That's another one with TBS, but let's not get into that.
Twitter was alive at that point, man. That was so good.
But I'm wondering if they should go the football route, and well, I guess they can't, but have a rotation where it's you have Fox one year, then you go to CBS and NBC.
That actually might be good.
I feel like that might be better, wouldn't it? Because they kind of did that in the 90s when NBC and Fox would kind of go back and forth, and then Fox had exclusive rights, and I've had the World Series broadcast since then.
Could you imagine having Jim Nance call the World Series?
That'd be sick.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
Let's start a petition.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Let's start a petition. Have Jim Nance call the switch to CBS and do the World Series.
Well,
People would listen just for Jim Nance.
yeah.
I would.
Well, I think Fox might have signed a contract with them recently.
How much? How long?
I'm trying to figure that. MLB on Fox. Even though I love the MLB on Fox theme
Oh yeah, it's a great theme
that they brought
Fantastic
back recently.
Yeah.
Shoot.
But yeah, I am pretty much in agreement with all your stuff here, and yeah, you got it.
In 2018, Fox renewed its rights through 2028, maintaining its existing structure, but with expanded digital rights and a promise to begin airing more games on the Fox broadcast network. Pretty much through 2028, they're gonna have the World Series games on their network.
Okay. So 2029, CBS. Yeah. Jim Nance, he's still be doing it, right?
I would think so. He's
Yeah.
not that old.
No, he's not. Well, he's stopped doing. This was his last year for NCAA tournament. He's not doing that anymore.
But he's still doing football.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still doing football. You mean the NCAA tournament? That's a little bit more labor intensive than a World Series, I think, because it's 4 weeks. Is it 3 weeks? How many weeks is it? 3 weeks?
3 or 4 weeks. Yeah.
Yeah. World Series is possibly over in 5 days.
Yeah.
So, anything else you got?
That was all I had. I think it's just another example of the MLB being very fan unfriendly.
Yes.
I think they need to expand the fans' ability to watch games without having to resort to, using VPNs or paying a bunch of subscription services, or just saying, you know what, I'm just going to tune into my radio and listen to it for free.
Yeah. Almost like I wonder if you could.
Oh, by the way, though, I do want to say I love listening to games on the radio, though.
Oh, yeah. So do I.
Yeah. It's actually not a bad alternative if you wanted to.
Yeah. I pay for the, it's like $3 a month. I can listen to any radio or stuff from any team. Yeah. So I had that when I was going up to Jersey, and I couldn't get the local thing, and I was like, well, I got to pay to listen to the Phillies, so that's fine.
Yeah, my earliest memories are listening to baseball games in the summertime with my dad.
Yeah.
And Sterling was doing the games even then, though with Michael Kay early on. Yeah. So they were both in the booth together.
Yeah.
Then, but
That was good. Yeah. Let us know in the comments of any Instagram thing or anything. Shoot us a DM if you're agreeing with what we're saying about the blackouts and the streaming and all that stuff. Let us know your thoughts. I'll probably post some stuff on Instagram. I don't know. I'll figure out how to word it. Figure it out.
I'm giving a thumbs up. You guys can't see it.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So thank you for that. That was fun. I also want to issue an apology to you. So last podcast, we had our first guest, Taylor, on our podcast. And when we got all the podcast equipment back when we first started, we had everything, including what I thought was the 4 microphones. We had the 4 cables, but apparently we couldn't find the two extra mics, and I was freaking out, and so was Kev. And I came at Kev. I was like, "What? How could you lose them?" Basically, and I was like, "They were here for sure." Well, I was wrong. I was a dummy, and I was wrong. I had never gotten them from my friend. He had given me 2, and he gave me 4 cords, but he didn't give me the other 2 microphones. So we only had 2 microphones. We had to go to Micro Center. I had to go to Micro Center and just grab a microphone, and it was a little bit different than all our other ones. But now we have all 4 microphones, so we can have 2 more guests on our podcast. But I wanted to issue a public apology to Kevin because I think I came at him a little bit on the previous podcast, and so I'm sorry.
Well, it's not exactly a Handel's milkshake, but I'll accept it.
That sounds fantastic right now.
It does. I'm right down the street.
Yeah, but I just don't want to feel congested when I wake up. Handel's, if you don't know it, is the best ice cream in the world, and it's right down the street from where we're recording right now.
It's very tempting. I got to try my best to avoid it.
Yeah, and the Monster Shake is literally like a big gulp from 7-Eleven. It's pretty much that, just a milkshake.
Yeah.
Full of, oh my God, it's so good. The best one I had was a blueberry cobbler one or an apple pie one in like the fall. It was so good.
The blueberry cobbler's not a flavor anymore
Mm.
because it was seasonal. I thought it would last through the summer because it's like a summer flavor.
Yeah,
but
it's a good flavor.
yeah.
All right.
Oh,
So
oh well.
to close out this podcast, we are still going to do a hot take. And it's my turn to do a hot take for this time. One of the hot takes that I did back a while ago, the two that I remember is that the Rays are going to finish with the best record of all time, which they struggled a little bit, but they're still on pace for over 100 wins easily right now, and that the Dodgers wouldn't make the playoffs. That right now, both of them aren't looking exactly in my favor, but it's still early. We're still before the All-Star break, but just giving some clarification and updates on that one. But here's my hot take for today. The Angels will make the playoffs, and they will also go to the ALCS.
Explain.
I think everyone's kind of rallying around the fact that this could possibly be Ohtani's last season with the Angels. If he decides to, sign somewhere else. They are 38-20 or 38-32.
Mm-hmm.
I think they have do they have a playoff spot right now?
No.
No.
They're a game and a half behind the Yankees
Okay.
right now.
I think that if they stay healthy, they will make the playoffs and they will make it to the ALCS. That's my hot take. All right. Trout and Ohtani, or Trout's having a little bit of a down year average wise, but he's still doing everything else. Ohtani is killing it. Opponents are hitting 172 against him, which is the lowest in the league. It's ridiculous how good he is right now. And I think he's got like 19 home runs or something like that. I can't remember, but he's easily right now, I think, my MVP candidate for sure. But I think that they will make the playoffs. And not only will they make the playoffs and not like win any games, but they will make it to the ALCS. I just think that they'll kind of get that momentum and swagger going. I also think Phil Nevin is doing a decent job. I think they're rallying around him because he shows that he cares. Like obviously he's a hothead, but I think there's a good shot. And also the AL West is kind of the Astros have had some injuries. The Rangers, I think they're going to be tough to beat, but I think that the Angels will get in a wild card. And if they get the right matchup, I think that they match up. Like if they got Baltimore, I think the Angels could beat Baltimore. And I think that, then they would probably face probably the Rangers or
Rays.
Yeah. I think that they can beat, they could get hot and do it. That's my hot take. I don't think it's too hot because they definitely could make the playoffs, even though they haven't made the playoffs since 2013.
It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while, but they got to. They're going to be buyers at the deadline. I'm trying to think what they probably could get another starting pitcher and probably another bat but just for some depth. But
there were some Paul Goldschmidt rumors, but
I don't think
they're going to go.
No, the Cardinals. I don't think the Cardinals. They're just having a down year. I think, which is weird because I picked them to be like in the World Series, but I don't know. I don't see that. I don't think they would trade Goldschmidt.
No, I don't think
Even though
so.
he's old, he's still got a couple years on the contract, and I don't know. I don't think that's a good idea. Unless do they have any upcoming first baseman? I mean, they do have some good prospects that are coming up, but I don't know. Goldschmidt's a year removed from MVP. No, he was the MVP last year.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think that. No. You don't see it?
It's just a tough road for the wild card, I think, because maybe if they were more in contention for the division and they have the in already and don't have to worry about that, then an ALCS trip would be more manageable. Wild card, I could see a bit more because there's more opportunity, and they're only a game and a half behind right now to get in. But like, say something happens to Trout or to Ohtani,
which is likely with Trout.
Yeah. And I don't know how likely it is that the playoffs are a possibility without either of them. So wild card I could see, even though it's still a tough road because you have the AL East teams trying to get in, and you
Mhm.
still have Houston in your own division along with the Rangers.
Yeah. So they just lost. So McCullers is done for the year for Houston. So that's 2 starting pitchers that they had that are out for the year now.
Yeah.
Alvarez Yordan is out for the next month with an oblique injury.
But they're still ahead
Oh, I know.
of the Angels right
I know.
now.
I know they're still ahead, but I think that they are slowly. They're having some injuries. I don't think it's the Astros' year. I don't think it is.
Yeah.
But so that's what I think. I think that it could happen. Probably not, but I think it could. Yeah, I believe that it will. So that's my hot take. Let us know what you think about my hot take and whether or not I'm wrong. I know I'm right, but let me know if I'm wrong. Yeah. Anything else you got to add?
More Red Sox coming up at Fenway. I want Judge back as soon as possible.
Yeah.
And I want the Blueberry Cobbler to come back to handles. Yes. And I want sleep.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I might do a hike this weekend. I got a 3-day weekend coming up.
There you go.
But I don't know what to do with it.
It's supposed to possibly
just stay
rain.
here.
It's supposed to rain tomorrow pretty bad.
I'm working tomorrow.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about like if you get a hike on Saturday and it could be more like damp and everything because I was going to go possibly off-roading with someone and then we're trying to figure out if that's actually a good idea because it could be really, really get stuck or something like that.
Right.
So, yeah. All right. Thank you for joining us for the podcast. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, let us know. I'll keep you guys updated on Instagram and catch you next time.
Ta-ta.